Welcome to the Kenya Wantam Notam Movement, KWM podcast. We take sources, we dive deep, and we try to pull out what really matters. Today, we're diving into, well, an incredible story. It's about resilience, unity. Honestly, a fascinating revolution happening right now in Kenya. And for anyone just joining, the Kenya Wantam Notam Movement, KWM, it's all about, getting citizens involved, building unity, and helping people share ideas for positive change. Big stuff. Our main source today, it's titled Kenya's Youth Defy Division. Ruto's tribal rhetoric sparks a name revolution.
It really paints this picture, doesn't it? Gen Z just rejecting the old ways.
It really does. And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how this narrative of division, which, let's face it, is often used, right, to exploit those fault lines between communities. It's instead ignited this powerful spark. Defiance, yes, but also unity among young Kenyans. Unexpected, really.
Totally unexpected.
So our mission today, I guess, is to unpack that. How did this happen? What methods are they using? And, well, what does it mean for Kenya's future? Yeah, it's a story with these, twists and these really bold statements. It shows how a generation is just flipping the script, making their voices heard everywhere, From Lamu to Lodwar, Kisumu to Wajir, it's quite something. So you're in for an inspiring journey, I think, into what it really means to demand change, demand unity. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the source kicks off by highlighting something pretty stark. President Ruto's rhetoric aimed specifically at the Kikuyu tribe. It's described as bitter, clearly meant to stir up tribal divisions. Now, just for context for you listening, the Kikuyu, they've historically had significant political, economic influence in Kenya. So they often become a focal point, sometimes a target, in the politics there. For years, politicians have played this game, tribal politics. Sowing discord. It's a tired old playbook, isn't it?
It really is. And this is where the story takes that intriguing turn you mentioned, because historically, that tactic, singling out a group, it's been depressingly effective in Kenyan politics.
The source suggests Ruto's goal, or the perceived goal, was scapegoating, channeling frustrations in a way that divides. But, and this is the key bit, instead of working, it kind of exposed a weakness in that old strategy, especially with this new generation.
How so?
Well, the rhetoric designed to alienate, right? It just sparked the opposite among the youth, this potent counter-reaction towards unity. It makes you ask, what happens when a strategy that's worked for so long just completely backfires, shows it's out of date?
That is a powerful point. It's kind of amazing how something meant to divide can boomerang so dramatically. You'd think it would just deepen the cracks, but like you said, Gen Z in Kenya, they're not just watching this happen.
No, they're actively pushing back.
Yeah, the source says it plainly. Gen Z isn't buying it. They are rejecting the tribal lines, demanding a Kenya built on unity, not hatred.
This feels like more than just disagreeing with the politician, doesn't it? It feels deeper.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a generation that's, they've grown up seeing these cycles again and again, division, empty promises.
Right. And they're just done with the lies, the political theater that, frankly, doesn't put food on the table or fix the road.
Exactly. It's like they've had enough.
Precisely. And connecting that to the bigger picture, like you said, it's this huge generational shift. It's not just politics. It's rejecting the whole framework of tribalism that's held the nation back for so long. The youth, the source calls them the heartbeat of the nation. They get it. They can't be passive anymore. They see the old ways failing them, and they know they need to step up. Their resistance, it shows a real maturity, I think, in the electorate, especially this younger group. They've seen nothing really changes with these same old tactics.
And crucially, they're not just saying no. They're acting. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. The source highlights this incredibly bold move. Symbolic, yes, but powerful. Young people all across Kenya deliberately changing their names.
Yeah.
Specifically to Kikuyu names. Now, this isn't trivial. It's loaded with meaning, isn't it? What does the source say about the power behind that specific act?
This is maybe the most captivating part. It really makes you think, right, how can changing a name, something so personal, ripple outwards and become this huge unifying symbol for a whole country?
Yeah.
By taking on Kikuyu names, these young Kenyans, they're doing more than just adopting a label. It's profound. They're commenting on identity itself, how fluid it can be, how you can reclaim it, even in a place often rigidified by tribe. The source says they're reclaiming an identity that was never theirs to lose. It's an act that just cuts right through the divisive talk.
How so?
Well, instead of fighting anger with anger, they embrace the very identity that was being targeted. It's this act of defiance that says, oh, you want to use identity to split us. Watch us use it to unite.
Wow.
They're literally turning the weapon back on itself, making it a tool for solidarity. It's so visible, so personal, and yet so public. It declares unity is real, it's lived, and it's stronger than any attempt to break it.
So it's way more than a trend. It's this deep statement. We are one. Try and tell us otherwise.
This unity, it really highlights that shared purpose, that collective wish to see Kenya actually work for everyone, shows strength in numbers, but numbers defined by a shared future, not old tribal lines.
Exactly.
And it's not just symbolic protest either, right? It connects back to their real lives.
Absolutely. The source is very clear on this. This whole movement, it's fundamentally about rejecting the status quo and demanding real, tangible change. The youth are, and I'm quoting here, tired of waiting for politicians who only know how to talk but never deliver.
Heard that before.
Right. They're not just talking ideals. They want results. Things that impact their lives, their kids' futures. Stuff like good schools, functional hospitals, decent roads, and an economy that works for everyone, not just for a privileged few.
Basic needs, really.
Exactly. Basic needs. It's not abstract theory. It's fundamental improvements they desperately need. So the name thing, it's symbolic, sure, but it also becomes this banner, this collective identity for everyone pushing for these real changes. You know, it's important to remember this isn't just about one president or one party. The source makes that clear. Leaders like Ruto and others before him, they've failed them, enjoying the perks of power, turning a blind eye to people's actual needs.
Yeah.
So this name revolution and the wider KWM movement it's part of, it's a massive call for accountability, isn't it? A demand for a system that actually serves the people, not just the elite.
Couldn't agree more. The old guard, as the source calls them, they're painted as just completely out of touch. Part of this corrupt machinery that has drained the nation dry.
Harsh words, but maybe reflecting the feeling on the ground.
Perhaps. But the youth, through actions like this name thing, they're fighting for something totally different. They see a Kenya that's more than a political game. They want a functional, prosperous nation for everyone. And this shift from just accepting things to actively defying and uniting, it's crucial for Kenya's future, you'd think. It says the future won't be defined by past mistakes or divisions.
And what's really inspiring, I find, is how this new identity is actually changing the national conversation. The movement's got real momentum, stretching from every corner of Kenya, from every county.
It's just spreading.
Yeah. What started as this attempt to divide using the Kikuyu tribe, ironically, it's turned that identity into a symbol of solidarity, of hope. It's not about the tribe anymore, it's about the people, the youth, united for a better Kenya.
And what's so clever, so fascinating, is how they've disarmed the weapon used against them. By embracing the very identity meant to be marginalized, meant to sow discord, they flip it. They turn it into a symbol of collective strength, a direct challenge to the old way of doing things.
Right. It shows a deep understanding of symbolic power.
Absolutely. How to turn a negative into a positive unifying force. They are really making their voices heard, no doubt about it, not afraid to challenge things. And in doing that, they're sort of redefining what being Kenyan means today. It signals that maturity we talked about. They get that nothing changes if the same faces stay in charge, leading to that cycle. Rich get richer, poor stay poor. But this time, the source says things will be different because the youth are leading this charge for a new Kenya, one where unity beats division and people genuinely come first.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? It means this is your moment too. This is your revolution in a way. So Source ends with this really powerful call. Keep fighting, you keep demanding more, you keep standing united, because Kenya has the potential to be so much more than it is.
That potential.
Yeah. It's about a vision for Kenya that works for everyone, not just the elites. And this movement, yeah, it started with bold statements, name changes, but it's not stopping. It's a generation rising up, united, demanding better, and you absolutely can be part of it. Your voice, your ideas, they're crucial, especially for platforms like KWM. Look, if this deep dive today, talking about unity, about active citizenship, if it resonated with you, we really encourage you. Get involved. Go to www.wantamnotam.com. That's WANTAMOTAM.com right now. Create your account. Start sharing your ideas. Ideas to change your village, your city, your whole nation, Kenya's future. It really is in your hands.
We've sort of walked through how Kenya's youth, they're not just watching anymore, are they? They are, as the source said, the true heartbeat of the nation, actively rewriting the future, turning divisive talk into this powerful symbol of unity with things like the name revolution.
Incredible, really.
It is. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it's clear this movement is a profound shift. Necessary, perhaps. The youth are demanding results, real results. Good schools, working hospitals, decent roads, an economy that actually functions for everybody. They're proving, through action, that strength lies in that shared purpose, that collective desire to see Kenya work for all its people, not just a select few.
It's such a powerful reminder, isn't it, that quote? Kenya has the potential to be so much more than it is. And this revolution, starting bold, starting united, it's not going away. It's a generation rising together, demanding that better future, building a Kenya that serves all its citizens.
Which leaves us with a question, I think, a pretty important one for all of us, maybe. What is this incredibly powerful youth movement in Kenya? What does it tell us about, well, the human capacity for resilience, for transformation? I mean, how can a single act, seemingly simple like changing a name, become this huge nationwide symbol of defiance, a catalyst for real societal change? So what does that tell us about the power of symbols, of symbolic action in reshaping identity, building unity, especially when faced with division? Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. And remember, your voice, your ideas, they matter in movements like this. If today's discussion on unity and being an active citizen struck a chord, please become part of this story. Visit www.wantamnotam.com. Again, that's WANTAMNOTAM.com. Create your account. Share your ideas that can change your community, your city, your nation. Kenya's future is truly in your hands.
Thank you for listening to the Kenya Wantam Notam Movement, the KWM podcast. We look forward to our next deep dive with you.